Hello and welcome to Access Asia. I'm Delon D'Souza. Coming up, Japan hikes visa fees and may impose language requirements for foreign nationals seeking permanent residency. The move demonstrates the country is hardening its nationalist position. As Europe swelters with frequent heat waves, Beijing emerges as a top beneficiary, with Chinese factories cranking out new AC models at record speed. And lakes in Kashmir under threat, reduced snow, abnormal rainfall, and increased pollution due to human activity, all part of the problem. Japan is sharply raising visa fees and may impose language requirements for foreign nationals seeking permanent residency. It comes as the country takes a more conservative turn. This shift has been reinforced by Japan's economic challenges and rising regional tensions with China. Ultra-conservative Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi intends to push this agenda further by tightening immigration policies and strengthening the country's military strategy. France 24's team on the ground in Tokyo filed this report.
A rare dissenting voice in Japan's otherwise orderly society. These nationalists want to restore what they see as a great Japan, sovereign, militarily powerful, and strict on immigration.
Foreigners who risk disturbing public order in Japan aren't welcome. There are the Chinese, for example, and also the Kurds who people have been talking about lately. At night, they create disorder everywhere. They do things that break the rules, not to mention all the drug-related issues.
Hiroshi Kawahara founded one of these ultra-nationalist groups 25 years ago. He wants anti-foreigner policies to be implemented and dreams of restoring the emperor as the head of the country. We followed him during one of their gatherings. Their goal today is to honour Japanese soldiers who died in combat during the Second World War.
We celebrate this day with pride. Even though our ancestors lost the war, their determination was honourable. On one hand, they liberated Asia and Africa, and on the other, they ensured Japan's survival and self-defence, preserving our country's independence.
It's an event that is seen as provocative by neighbouring countries. For some historians abroad, the Japanese never liberated Asia or Africa. Instead, they view it as colonisation. Taiwan in 1895, Korea in 1910, and in the early 20th century, the occupation of the Philippines, Malaysia, and Manchuria, a region in northern China. In Japan, nationalist sentiment appears to be rising again. Last October, Sanae Takaichi, a leading figure of the ultra-conservative right, was elected Prime Minister. She wants to limit immigration and increase the country's military spending. This political climate is emboldening racist rhetoric among part of the population. Mohammed Nazir has lived in Japan for 40 years. Originally from Sri Lanka, he is a Muslim and has fully integrated into local culture. He speaks fluent Japanese and plays an active role in community life in his neighbourhood. But a few months ago, he became the target of racist insults.
Everything started, I think, in November. I never thought I will get such a message inside Japan through a Japanese. So that's first time in my life. So after being here for a long time, and I was a bit sad.
Mohammed says these hateful messages only come from a very small minority of Japanese people.
The new mosque last year, there was no such things up to last year. To survive Japan, they need a lot of foreigners. And even all the foreigners, if they say at once we are leaving here, and Japan, they have to close most of the factories, industries, and even the shops.
Japan is a country of 122 million people. It has an ageing society and is facing a severe labour shortage. Today, the archipelago is being forced to cautiously open up after being historically inward-looking for centuries. Faced with growing immigration, Japan's leaders have plenty of decisions to make. According to this expert, the government must implement a real integration policy for foreigners.
Japan should establish a Japanese language education system for foreigners and allow their children to enter Japanese schools so they can receive the same education, grow up in Japan, and later hold the same jobs as Japanese citizens with equivalent salaries.
In 2024, Japan lost nearly 910,000 citizens, the direct consequence of a record low birth rate and a population ageing at high speed. Foreign labour is more necessary than ever, and yet, amid a nationalist surge, Tokyo continues to tighten its immigration policies.
Next, it's a revealing figure that's become a sign of the times as Europe boils under successive heat waves. Some 1.9 million air conditioners and fans were sold here in France in the final 2 weeks of June. It's an all-time record as demand explodes across the continent. The top beneficiary, China. Its factories are cranking out new models at record speed. Brian Quinn reports.
The production line runs non-stop, its workers wasting not a second as they carry out their tasks. This is the heart of one of the world's top air conditioning producers. Its technical manager has one goal: to pick up the pace.
We have 6 of these production lines. Each one can produce up to 5,000 units a day. We export to 130 countries. Europe is a big market for us.
Over the past 2 months, France in particular has become a top client as demand explodes.
With the heat wave in Europe, demand has exceeded all our expectations. For France, our sales were up 134% over last year.
Turnover more than doubling as the French get hooked on Chinese air conditioners. In the giant warehouse, mountains of boxes.
All of this is going to France.
Even the distribution manager is blown away.
I'm stunned. French demand has blown up in the past 2 months. I've been here for years, and this is the first time that I've seen this.
The phenomenon seen across multiple brands and varieties of ACs, portable units are in especially high demand. And to deliver them as quickly as possible, they're not traveling by sea. Chinese brands are instead choosing trains. Here is where the route is set out, 9,000 kilometers from China to France.
Before, we never used railways for shipping to Europe. Now, though, the delivery time is 1 month. It's twice as fast as by ship.
It's a race against time to get to market before the fading of the summer heat.
Now, Indian Minister Jammu and Kashmir is renowned for its lakes, rivers, and snow-capped mountains. These natural wonders attract thousands of tourists every year. But the Himalayan region is warming faster than the global average. Reduced snow and abnormal rainfall are altering the timing and volume of water being fed into rivers and lakes. Human activity has also led to increased pollution levels, and it's making matters worse. Eliza Herbert reports.
Dal Lake is often referred to as the jewel in the crown of Kashmir. The natural wetland is one of the most visited places in Srinagar, and every day, workers like Gulam try to keep it clean. But their job is becoming increasingly difficult.
The water is so polluted that we're afraid to touch it with our bare hands. Whenever we need to clean, we wear gloves because without those, we'll have an allergic reaction.
Rubbish is piling up, carried downstream from the picturesque Himalayas. Invasive plants are multiplying, feeding on nitrogen and phosphorus from untreated sewage, which is entering the water from surrounding houses and farmlands. And at times, impacts of climate change like reduced snowfall and warmer temperatures are causing water levels to drop. It's a perfect storm, one that scientists say is impacting hundreds of lakes in the region, and in turn, nearly every sector of Kashmir's economy.
70% of our economy is directly or indirectly dependent on water-related sectors, be it agriculture, be it horticulture, be it tourism, be it hydropower production. And we are bestowed with a lot of lakes, alpine lakes as well as valley lakes. Most of that tourist attractions that we have in Kashmir are also water dependent.
According to an Indian government report for Jammu and Kashmir, of the region's 697 natural lakes, 315 have disappeared and another 203 have shrunk since 1967. At Woolar Lake, some 65 kilometres northwest of Srinagar, Abdul has been fishing since childhood. In that time, the lake has dried up and his once thriving industry is on knife edge.
We want our children to take up this work, but we are struggling ourselves. I used to earn around $11 a day. Those were good times. Now that I'm 45, the situation has completely changed and we hardly make enough money.
Dal and Woolar Lakes are among the handful receiving government funds for restoration, but hundreds more are going without. Local officials acknowledge that more work is needed if they are going to replenish and protect Kashmir's disappearing lakes and the livelihoods that depend on them.
In India, some temples are swapping real elephants for robotic ones for use in religious ceremonies. They flap their ears, sway their tails, and even wiggle their trunks, but they're powered by electricity. The move aims to reduce animal welfare concerns, improve safety, and cut the cost of keeping captive elephants. Built in the southern Indian state of Kerala, these lifelike giants are now heading to temples across India and even overseas. And while they can't walk just yet, their creators hope the next generation will take that giant step. That's it for this edition of Access Asia. You can check out other episodes on our website. The address is france24.com. From all of us on the team, thank you very much for watching.